Oh, oh, oh. Nice, nice. A toy car, classic. A doll, gonna be a lot of those this year. What the heck is a fleshlight? I'll just ask the elves. Let's see. Naughty, naughty. Holy jingle bells! The people of the Commonwealth are horrendous. I better go over there and see things with my own eyes. Naughty. Very naughty.
I'm a woman, baby.
Naughty. Alright, last one. Can't be that bad. I'll just look around and see what's bad. Why is there so much weight on my shoulder? Why was it so big?
Ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas, everyone! The festive season is in full swing, and I'm sure everyone is trying not to go insane every time you hear Mariah Carey.
No, 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 no. Wait. Wait.
I knew I wanted to try and beat Fallout 4 as Santa for the holidays. I just wasn't sure how to go about it. That's why I added mods. I will go over the mods whenever they show up. I'm only allowed to use Christmasy weapons. What does that mean, you may be asking? Stay tuned and you'll find out. Without further ado, let's get into this shit show. Also, there are 2 other Can You Beat Fallout 4 as Santa videos out in the past week. One by Egil and the other by Orphilius. I apologize if I butchered that. Go check out their videos, they're really good. After my video, of course. Moving on. It started with me getting the right proportions for the Jolly Legend himself. I gave him a big white beard, made his stats lore accurate, and saw that one of my mods was popping up already. I bet you can guess what kind. I witnessed the end of civilization. I stuffed my gingerbread man into a skin-tight jumpsuit and watched as Mrs. Claus jingled her last bell. I trapped the rad roaches behind a door, grabbed the Pip-Boy, and emerged into an irradiated nuclear winter. This is the first mod I've got for today, Frosted Over by RTXWolf. This mod changes the textures all over the world to make it look like a winter shithole. The mod changes the textures, but it doesn't differentiate textures that are outside from the ones inside, making things look a bit scuffed. However, I found it pretty funny, so I'm sticking with it. Making it to Sanctuary, I'm finding my second mod for the run, Wasteland Santa Outfit by Jason Unruh, a mod that does exactly what the title says. It adds a Santa costume that's fit for the apocalypse, including a hat, sack, and even a new weapon, the candy bar, a crowbar with a candy cane wrapping that will be my main weapon for this run. I am unable to craft anything else, but after some quick demolition and petty theft, I am able to create a hat in my very own sack. I stuck the sack to my back with some super glue, and was off in search of some leather to craft the rest of the outfit. I was able to kill a deer that kept running into a tree, and stole its hide before heading over to Red Rocket to craft the last piece of the outfit. The Santa outfit looked incredible, and aside from my belt buckle floating off my stomach like I had my very own gravitational force, I didn't see anything wrong with it. Famous last words. With my gear acquired, I ran over to Concord and got to try out my brand new candy bar on some naughty little raiders. They didn't stand much a chance against a rod of stainless steel and my dad bod strength. With the raiders taken care of, I talked with Preston and ripped the minigun off its mount with my big meaty claws. I got down to the street below and started to chase the raiders down for even thinking about doing something so naughty, and immediately got killed because I'm wearing fucking pajamas. I came back to a strange glitch. My clothes seemed to have elongated themselves, but only in first person, strangely enough. Trying again, I took out the raiders and then used the Deathclaw to my advantage, setting it loose on my remaining enemies as I stood back and watched. Ho 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 shit! I ducked into a nearby hardware store and used it to bash my crowbar over the Deathclaw's head, swinging hard enough to cause permanent brain damage. There was something totally wrong with this Deathclaw, because it somehow was taken out by the remaining raiders. I finished off the rest of the enemies with a knee to the face. I reported my success to Preston and said I'd meet him in Sanctuary. After some testing, I found out that I could exit the game and came back. That seemed to fix the clothing glitch. However, at this time, I thought it would be a good time to go find one of my other mods. I set off in search, flirting with someone who probably smelled like 3 different kinds of shit, stopped a dino-related firefight by threatening to shove them into my sack, and ran into a local crackhead who asked for far too much white stuff when she was young. I finally made it to where the mod was. However, I would have to make it through a giant maze built into a parking garage. This shit also happened to be patrolled by the super mutants across the fucking street. Wow, that sounds really close. I tried to run for my life, but hit a dead end, and was quickly subjected to the average Super Bowl touchdown. The explosion seemed to bring back the clothing glitch. I fixed it, and then came to my mortal enemy, scales. I swear to all the milk and cookies, I am no heavier than 225. I don't care what the stupid machine says. Another suicider found me as I was finishing up with the scales, and for some fucking reason, my brain thought that I could take him on. However, one look at how little damage my crowbar did, I quickly accepted my fate and took the mutant nuclear load. Trying again, I heard the suicider getting closer again, and I quickly locked myself behind some jail bars. The mutant left, and when he came back, I tried to attack the big guy through the bars, only for the bitch to have grabbed a friend, who blew himself up, taking the first suicider out with him. But miraculously, I didn't die. I don't know how I took 2 nuclear blasts to the face and lived. My only guess is the first super mutant's body blocked the other's explosion, and since I was in VATS, I was able to take a whole lot more damage. Aside from that Christmas miracle, I continued my way through the maze, and surprising absolutely no one, I got lost. I could hear the mod talking from time to time, but I couldn't find out how to get to him. I was finally able to get to the top level, and was immediately attacked by a shit ton of ghouls. I tried to fight them off, but I knew I was too low a level to finish them off. I made a break for it, passing a Mountain Dew addict as I go, tiptoeing around a bunch of traps, hoping that they would thin out the feral ghoul horde. It seemed to work. And while I was hiding from the remaining ghouls, I finally am able to find the mod, Santatron by Martin Toms, a Protectron that believes to be Santa Claus. He looks awesome, and even gives the player a wide range of gifts once a day. I grabbed a shit ton of drugs at the end of the maze, and I finally made it back to Sanctuary, where I finished Preston's quest to get some good XP. Preston was such a good boy that I tried to give him a gift. I found out that I'm unable to upgrade the candy bar, which means it's going to lose its efficiency the further into the game we go. With that being said, I descended onto Boston from heaven itself, and I learned how Santatron gives coal to naughty children. Holy shit. Making it farther into the city, I stumbled across a terrible sight. My poor elves. They have been twisted and mutated into these hulking abominations. I couldn't believe my eyes as I was forced to take them out. I tried to flip a plunger. So close. What do you want for Christmas? I finally made it to Diamond City, did some trading, and even found some wild grimace droppings. I made my way to Goodneighbor, exterminating a shit ton of roaches, and cleared out a nearby cemetery, before finally getting to the safety of Goodneighbor. Well, that's very naughty.
I'm a woman, baby.
I got scared and decided to go fight a nearby raider camp until I try to attack one, and I get the strangest crash of my life, sending me into a green hellscape, not allowing me to exit the game and forcing me to completely shut off my computer to fix it. What the fuck? With that shit taken care of, I got back in and nearly got killed by Santatron when he attacked a dog near me. I swear to all things jolly, I think he packs explosives into those chunks of coal. He is also far too accurate. As he was killing a legendary elf, a raider threw a grenade at us, and Santatron literally blasted the grenade out of the air, making it explode mid-air, killing me in the process. Santatron chucked another hunk of explosive coal at some raiders, and I quickly moved on to the railroad's base, killing the ghouls on the inside of the church. I solved the very simple puzzle, and for once in my life, I have decided to join the railroad for this playthrough. I went with the Minutemen for the past 2 challenge videos, and I wanted to spice things up. I doubted that Santa would choose the evil or racist factions, so we're stuck with the idiots for this go around. I get my first assignment from Deacon, and met up with him under a highway overpass. We met up with Ron Swanson to learn about our target. They're guarding a whole shit ton of milk and cookies down there. Did someone say cookies? We made our way into the access tunnel in order to sneak our way into the base. I don't think they know we're here. Santatron took them out with little effort, but when we got to the main base, he just decided to stand around and tank their lasers until he was ultimately taken down, forcing me into hiding. I was thankful for my sneak skill and was somehow able to hide from the synths that were less than 10 feet away. Making our way past the synths guarding the main area, I am melted almost immediately by synths guarding the prototype. This costume glitch is starting to get on my nerves. We were able to grab the prototype, and I set Santatron on the remaining synths stationed in the diner above. After the carnage, I grabbed every mine I could find for a plan I was cooking up. I returned to the church to relay our success, and I was finally allowed into the crypt, where I returned the prototype to Dr. Carrington. However, something was off. I couldn't find Santatron anywhere. He was here at 1 minute and then gone the next. I looked all over the crypt to no luck. I thought that I might have dismissed him and made my way back to Sanctuary to see if I could find him there. Lo and behold, I spotted a lumbering speck in the distance, and when I got closer, I found Santatron, seemingly emerging from the sunlight to grace us with his presence. With Santatron back, I returned to doing the railroad quest line, meeting up with an agent in Bunker Hill, who tasked me with clearing out the nearby church. On the way there, I paid some raiders a quick visit, and even got to play a game of baseball while I was at it. It was really easy when no one else was on the other team. I made it to the church, nearly getting myself blown up by a car, and bullied the shit out of the last raider until Santatron buried her 6 feet deep in the sidewalk. I met up with the agent and the runaway synth and waited for Stockton to light the signal light. However, he didn't turn it on, and for some reason I had to go through his opening dialogue again. I thought the quest had bugged out since he didn't light the signal a second time. Then I thought that it might have been Santatron getting in the way of the man's pathing. I moved him out of the way, and thankfully on the third try, he lit the signal light, progressing the quest. The quest went off without a hitch. I look away for 2 fucking seconds. We reached our destination, completing the quest, and then went off to finish another railroad mission. I marked Green Tech Genetics for later, and had a big duel with a legendary ghoul before making it to my second destination. Do you remember when I grabbed all of those landmines? I said I had a plan in mind. Since Santa's whole job is to give presents, what better way to attack than dropping presents down the pants of unsuspecting raiders? Get down. Merry Christmas! I made sure I got away quick enough the next time. I continued my way through the raiders in my way. I even tried to sneak up on the trigger-happy raider with a missile launcher, but Santatron was not made for stealth, and I ultimately got a missile in the face. The second time around, Santatron disappeared out of nowhere, forcing me to fight the raiders all on my own. I was doing good until I poked my head out and immediately got it blown up. The third time through, I got close to the missile raider, and the bitch tried to corner peek me with a goddamn missile launcher. I shut that shit down quickly and was finally able to find the info. Where the fuck have you been? To make up for not being around, Santatron picked a fight with the Deathclaw in the basement, and for a second, I thought he had a chance. That is until the beast made him shut down. I tried to finish off the Deathclaw myself, and then realized I was only wearing fucking pajamas, and got an unwanted full cavity search. The second try saw Santatron using its massive brain to attack the Deathclaw from above, where he couldn't get hit. At some point, Santatron got cocky and jumped down to finish off the beast head on. With one final flurry of attacks, Santatron takes down the Deathclaw. I returned to the railroad with the news of my success, got told to go start a new railroad outpost. I reached the settlement and cleared out the roaches and ghouls. Santatron decimated the last ghoul's kneecaps, and I set up the outpost, completing the quest. However, before I returned to the railroad, I wanted to do a quick exploit. If you have a full 10 in one of your stats, and you take a chem that lowers that stat, then you can use the Your Special book to raise that stat, even though it was already at 10. Using this method, you can raise your stat past the maximum of 10. Now, with my brand new 11 strength, I got some more missions from the railroad. One in particular allows you to gain access to the ballistic weave mod. However, before I acquired the pre-war cache, I went and completed a quick quest that was nearby. While I was fighting the raiders, I did one of the coolest takedowns I have ever seen. I didn't even know you could choke someone out. I found the dead agent and sent a raider flying before making my way to where the pre-war cache was located. I was able to find the cache and even found a pristine postman uniform. Is Santa basically an eldritch god postman? Discuss in the comments. Upon returning to the railroad base and talking to Tom, I'm able to use ballistic weave. However, for some reason, I thought it would be a good idea to continue the main quest line, even though I am still only wearing fucking pajamas. I used Santatron as moving cover as we made our way through the Park Street station. I tried to shove a grenade down a man's pants, but my fat footsteps tipped him off, alerting everyone in the station. Knowing I wouldn't be able to stand up to the Triggerman's submachine guns, I made good use of Santatron's bulk and cold chuckers. That didn't mean I didn't participate in the slaughter. Oh no. Santatron absolutely yeeted a piece of coal into a man's face, and while I was attacking the last guy, he got a bit bloodthirsty. When I got into the vault, I am finally able to shove a grenade down a man's pants, but it didn't take them both out, and I put my candy bar into good use. I humiliated a man by faking an attack and instead kicked the Triggerman in the jingle balls. Further into the vault, I pretended to be an army medic dealing with an overheated soldier, if you know what that means. Good job. I rescued the walking toaster, dealt with even more triggermen, and tried to get Nick drunk off bourbon. It didn't work. I found a man stuck in a living hell who somehow teleported behind me like a horror monster. Thankfully, Santatron was there to keep me safe. When we confronted Skinny, I popped a stealth boy and slid my hands down his pants, depositing a bottle cap mine into his asshole. The blast destroyed everyone in one shot, leaving them a red smear on the floor. I agreed to meet Valentine at his agency, and for once in my life, went straight to his agency to find out who stole my son. Me and Nick went to Kellogg's house, and I used my special Santa powers to slip into the building through the chimney. I definitely didn't charm the mayor for the key. No, definitely not at all. I found Kellogg's cuck chair, and after letting Dogmeat sniff my hand, he is off to show me where Kellogg was located. However, past me finally decides to go get resources to add ballistic weave to my pajamas, giving me 70 ballistic and 65 energy resistance respectively. With my outfit finally upgraded, I made my way to Kellogg's hideout. The synths inside the hideout were little challenge to me, especially since they can't blast a hole in my pajamas anymore. I was so powerful, one of them decided to say fuck energy and grabbed a 10mm pistol. It didn't save him from my crowbar at all. I made my way into the bowels of the base, pummeled my way through the remaining synths, nearly being killed after I got a bit too cocky and tried to fight multiple synths at once. I made another synth jump like Mario before finally reaching where Kellogg was. He emerged from the shadows, and for some reason I wanted to see if I could slip an explosive into his pants. However, every time I tried to reach his pants undiscovered, I failed, leaving me with only one option: pumping myself full of drugs and hitting Kellogg with a massive sneak attack. The fight with Kellogg was so fast, it barely lasted longer than 10 seconds. Santatron dealt the final blow as I am throwing a poor synth like a ragdoll. This looks really familiar. I went through Kellogg's search history, watched the biggest sled I've ever seen fly overhead, and met back up with Valentine to discuss our findings. We immediately paid a visit to Dr. Amari. I climbed into the chair, and I learned what Kellogg wanted for Christmas as a kid.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way. If I could kill it, I would. But I legally can't. But I've considered it.
It was so horrible, I jolted awake, my mind scarred forever. Needing to bleach my eyeballs, I turned a gunner into a fine red mist, while also nearly getting my legs blown off in the process. I dealt with the gunners in the mass fusion building with ruthless efficiency, until I forgot about the lone gunner with a missile launcher, and zero qualms about blowing up their friends. I made sure to sneak up on the missile gunner, hitting her hard, and thanked my lucky stars that she decided to gun bash me instead of shoving a rocket down my throat. I was able to retrieve the strength bobblehead, raising my strength to 12, and when I left the building, I discovered a tear in space-time. My mods are tearing my game apart, and it's fucking hilarious. I had gotten sick and tired of my Santa pajamas doing the weird visual glitch, and had decided to change it out for something new. No shade to the creator, but I am tired of having to exit the game and come back every time the bug happened. I will keep the candy bar, it's my only weapon right now, but I grabbed something new. I went into the Creation Club and picked out the Holiday Settlement Pack. It comes with a shit ton of Christmas stuff, as well as a Santa costume. In order to start the quest to get all this stuff, I needed to go to Diamond City and find a note pinned on a wall. It says something about a shipment of pre-war toys and Christmas decorations nearby Fallon's department store. I set off in search of these toys, and Santatron gets absolutely obliterated by some suiciders. I found the garage where the shipments could be found, and discovered that they were being guarded by a ghoul wearing the Santa costume, and his pet mongrel named Rudolph. They were immediately hostile to me and Santatron, forcing us to fight back. When I turned to face the ghoul, I found that Santatron had already killed him before I could even notice. I pulled the 200-year-old Santa costume off the ghoul's body, and then tried to make him into a tree topper. Anyway, I grabbed the shipments as well as the dog deer antlers, dog Santa hats, normal Santa hats, sexy Santa hats, Santa costumes, and even sexy Santa costumes. With everything acquired, I dropped the shipments off at the Diamond City School. I made my way to Sanctuary in order to admire my brand new threads. Even though they stank and had countless stains of unknown origin, it looked incredible and could also be upgraded with ballistic weave. Thank God. I store the rest of the Christmas gear in a footlocker, except for one thing. Welcome to the team, little reindeer, or rain dog. I also added the mod from my Can You Beat Fallout 4 as Ghostface video. Great video, by the way. I added the unlimited companion framework by Expired 6978. This mod allows me to recruit all the companions at once. With Santatron and Rudolph meet in tow, I thought I should add an elf to the party. And what better elf than one obsessed with milk? We made our way through the elves with little problem. For some reason, Santatron seemed far more brutal than normal. So much so, I thought he was going to steal the kill on the elf leader. I raced over so I could say that I helped, and when he fell over dead, I threw his lifeless body off the building to show my dominance. We were able to save Strong. I grabbed the melee bobblehead, and then took the longest elevator ride of my life. I completed the quest and gained Strong as our brand new elf companion. With the team coming together, I thought we were missing someone very important, Mrs. Claus. We can't have Santa Claus without Mrs. Claus, and I knew exactly who to pick. Have you ever seen anything sexier? And all it took was having to play through Bobby No-Nose's mission twice, opened the mirror dimension and pulled out a second Strong. Oh, and we also gangbanged a glowing one in the basement. With all that taken care of, I started to gear up my companions. Holy fuck! Aside from that wardrobe malfunction, I think we got a pretty nice team. Me and the crew were off to Virgil's cave, but we ran into a group of elves that got to have a taste of Christmas spirit. Good job, Santatron. Holy shit! Don't worry, he's fine. After dealing with the elves, I had an unfortunate encounter with 3 fucking Mirelurk kings at once. I tried to take them out one at a time, but they quickly took out my heavy hitters in my team, forcing me to take on multiple at a time. Thankfully, my powerful hits made the kings stagger every time, but they were still able to hit me here and there. I continued this until I was finally able to take one of them out, and then continued my way through the others. I was able to easily kill the last legendary king, and got a very interesting Institute pistol. A pistol that has the freezing legendary effect, allowing me the pistol to inflict 10 points of cryo damage and freeze enemies on critical hit. Now, I wasn't planning on using a gun for this challenge. However, upon seeing how perfect this thing is, I couldn't help but use it. It even has a blue laser, which goes along with the cryo damage it does. Let me know what you guys think about allowing myself to use this legendary in the comments. I got to watch some mongrels walk by further in the woods, and I felt like I was in a nature documentary for a second. When I made it into the glowing sea, I was attacked by a pack of ghouls, and due to my team being slow, I had to kite them around a mountain until my team could arrive. They finally did, and we became a mosh pit of flailing body parts and swinging steel. We made such a ruckus that a goddamn rad scorpion came out of nowhere, and I proceeded to bash its brains in. We made it to Virgil's cave, and I wanted to try and get a sneak attack on the sleeping guard dog. Santatron had other ideas, and started blasting it as soon as he got into range. Not wanting Santatron to have all the fun, I chased the beast down and buried my crowbar into its skull a couple of times. I met with Virgil, who sends me off to kill a courser. I, on the other hand, went back to Sanctuary and upgraded my new weapon. I turned it into a rifle for longer range, and gave it some festive flair. I tested the gun on some raiders. It's very ice. I'm so sorry. I stumbled across another mod that I forgot I added, Ronin's Santa Hat by Ronin1971, a mod that literally just changes a bunch of hats in the game to Santa hats. I finally make my way to where the courser is hiding, and I finally got to use my legendary to its fullest, allowing me to freeze people in place and focus on enemies around them first. I even hit a critical through a wall and then waited for the poor man to unfreeze before killing him. It was extremely useful when going against the missile gunner, letting me freeze them and then pick them off from a safer spot. I shot a man in the ass, turning him to a bright blue ooze. I didn't just want to use my legendary and let my candy bar have a taste of some blood. When I reached the courser, I think he was shaking in his boots at the thought of having to fight me. I soon let my crew gangbang his invisible ass, and as soon as he appeared, I turned him into a robotic popsicle, one that Rudolph meat couldn't help but take a big bite out of. I grabbed the chip, got it decoded by Tom, and then returned to Virgil to get the teleporter plans. I brought the plans to the railroad, who immediately get me started on constructing the machine. I bought some parts I required, and was going to raid a spot for a sensor module. Fuck that. I made do with what I had on hand, constructing the massive tower with ease. I climbed onto the platform, and with a flash of light and a tingle in my jingle balls, I am inside the Institute. I inserted the network scanner into a terminal, and then found a strange message from an inside man known as Patriot. Unsure what to do about that, I continued on to find my son. Psych, that's not my son. This is my son. This frail old man with a pathetic excuse for a beard. I didn't want to help my son with anything, but thinking about the railroad's cause, I sucked it up and went along with his wishes. I met with the rejected Power Rangers, and while I was at it, I met with the secret informant, Patriot, who was barely an adult but was working on the inside to help the synths escape their enslavement. Patriot explains that he needs a special password to achieve his goals. I left the Institute and relayed his message to Desdemona, who sends me off to immediately find this password. On my way, I passed a skeleton ascending to heaven, and upon reaching my destination, I find it swarming with pharaoh ghouls. I crawled through the walls tunnels in order to reach the password Patriot required. While I was there, I may or may not have made a special piece of power armor in a 3D printer. While I was exploring, I found a giant elf community. We were spotted and forced to fight them off. As I was taking out an elf sickle, the elf leader nearly blew my legs off with a missile strike. I was able to get away and thought I could freeze the trigger-happy bastard. My broken and dead body had other plans. Trying again, the rocket elf tried to shoot my rain dog. That's a hell no from me, and I went on the offensive. The bastard tried to trick shot me through a damn house, but thankfully he seemed to have used up all of his missiles and rushed me with a super sledge. Me and Strong double teamed his ass until he finally went down by our superior might. Proud of Strong's fighting prowess, I gifted him with the leader's super sledge. Also, if you're curious about the Santa gear in his inventory, I tried to get a mod called Santa Strong by this Malkavian, but I was unable to get it working. That's okay, I found him some bondage gear instead. Me and the crew were chilling in the cellar when my intrusive thoughts won and I put a box on my wife's head. He even got up with it for a second, which made me laugh for some reason. I made my way to a nearby railroad mission that I thought I could finish before bringing the password back to Patriot. I met with Glory before we were attacked by even more elves, exploding right in the middle of my crew. I dealt with the elven threat before making my way into the station and one-shotting a naughty little synth. I took care of a few more before emerging on an absolute war zone. I focused on a named enemy and gave them a bad case of brain freeze before embedding my candy bar into his skull. I returned to report my success and did something that gave me a very stupid idea for a challenge video. I then brought the password to Patriot. He made me wait a full day before continuing. I exerted dominance over Z1, and then I got to arm the escaping synths with some weapons I procured from Arturo in Diamond City. I made my way to the rendezvous point in the basement of the Institute, and to my luck, all the guards had spawned in one giant clump. I giggled to myself as I slipped a pulse mine into one of their pants. However, when it went off, only the synth I slipped the explosive was harmed in the attempt. A little annoyed, I slipped a regular grenade into another synth's pants, and somehow that worked, eliminating most of the synths in the room. One somehow didn't react to his entire surroundings being blown up twice. You deserve this one. I watched the synths take out the last guard, but for some reason, they were not using any of the weapons I gave them, despite them ignoring my generous offer of weapons. I told Z1 we succeeded. With that mission finished, I am now stuck with helping Sean and the Institute until the railroad is ready to strike. This is basically the end of the railroad missions, and now it turns into the Institute run for a while. I won't be going through the missions in great detail, and will only be talking about the highlights or funny things that happened. Sean sends me off to retrieve a rogue synth, stumbling across a Brotherhood vertebrate that I tried to shoot down. They didn't like that and blew up my Corsair tour guide. I refocused on shooting down the vertebrate and caused a chain of events that causes everything nearby to explode. With the Brotherhood patrol destroyed, me, my crew, and my Corsair all attacked the floating raider base as one big unit. I made sure to critical hit the Fat Man Raider in the chair, carefully aiming my next few shots to finally take him out. With that taken care of, the rest of them should be a piece of cake. Ho 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 shit! One of the raiders had grabbed the Fat Man off his friend's corpse. Thankfully, Santatron stunned him with his coal before I come in with an ice beam right down the gullet. Santatron came back with some explosive coal again, and I confronted the rogue synth with a super secret code word that would cause him to shut down. Penis. I dealt with the henchman and let the Corsair take him back. I didn't think much about letting the synth be captured. Me and the railroad already have a big prison break planned, and I'm sure we can rescue him. When I return to Sean, he sends me off on a mission to attack the railroad hideout and retrieve some synths. Since I was a member of the railroad, I let them know ahead of time. I went back to Sanctuary to upgrade my gun, and I proceeded to rescue a Brotherhood knight from a crazy elf, only for them to turn around and start shooting my wife. That's it, the Brotherhood has brought down the wrath of a very dangerous Batman. I met with the Corsair to start the invasion, and I immediately froze a vertebrate pilot so bad, he slipped through his cockpit and plummeted to the ground. Even without a pilot, the bird still flew, proving that they were just reskinned dragons from Skyrim. Aside from embarrassing Brotherhood members, I tried to take out any synths that I could so I could give the railroad a fighting chance. I watched the vertebrate succumb to its wounds and explode, and turned the knight into a blue pile of ash. As I was fighting another knight with a Gatling laser, I was thinking of how to kill the Corsair quickly. However, after I knocked the Gatling laser out of the knight's hand and beat them to death with my crowbar, The Courser was low from fighting a railroad agent, and with a critical shot to the back of the head, I froze the Courser and then shot it right in the dongle. With the Courser dead, I thought I could free the synths in hiding. However, for some reason, when I went down to the bowels of the compound, the Brotherhood soldiers were completely immortal. They were still able to shoot me though. I wasn't sure what had happened, and decided to load back to before I shot the Courser in the nuts. With him in tow, I made my way back down again, and was thankfully able to shoot the Brotherhood members. Sadly, they could still shoot back. I made a knight shit out its fusion core, resulting in very explosive diarrhea. Me and the Courser made it to the synths, but instead of recalling them, I hit the Courser with multiple back-to-back sneak attacks, allowing me to continue the quest without breaking it. I went and told Sean about my failure, and despite failing spectacularly, I was still invited to a very important board meeting. Afterwards, I upgraded my rifle even more, before watching a married couple sleep. This is Allie, and she's going to help me steal Liberty Prime's butt plug. Me and Allie made our way to the teleporter, permanently making the Brotherhood my enemies. It's about fucking time. We got teleported to the top of the mass fusion building, and I realized that I'm stuck with Allie and no one else. My crew is nowhere to be seen, and I couldn't help but feel a little vulnerable. I even had to take on a knight with my candy bar, as their weapons were chewing through my body, and my melee strikes had a chance to disarm people. Me and Allie rode the elevator down, and while I was gooifying an enemy, I find Santatron standing over me like a mother bird. Near the bottom, they blew the fuse, and I barely got a shot on a knight's fusion core as they landed right in front of me. Thankfully, with Santatron back in action, the Brotherhood members didn't stand much of a chance. We continued our way down, where I grew a second candy cane, grabbing the butt plug, and absolutely demolished a sentry bot. Strong and Rudolph meat appeared at some point and literally destroyed the two assaultrons within seconds. I returned to Sean with the butt plug in hand, but instead of immediately inserting it into the reactor, he sends me off to talk to a door. Returning, I am told to send a message out to the Commonwealth.
Now I have a machine gun.
Ho, ho, ho.
I finished the speech and paid a quick visit to Diamond City to fix up their broadcasting tower. Finally, after Sean has finished edging us, I am able to insert the butt plug deep into the Institute. I started the reactor. I became the Red Power Ranger. Which ranger group has this color scheme? I'm thinking of one in particular. See if you can guess it in the comments. When the meeting is over, I am finally able to continue the railroad quest line. Meeting up with Patriot in my room, he tells me of an imminent attack on the railroad by the Brotherhood. How he knows this? I have no idea, but given the option of massacring a shit ton of Brotherhood members, I skipped my way over to the crypt and warned Desdemona mere seconds before the attack is launched. I had a giant smile on my face as they busted down the door, getting them stuck in a tight enclosed hallway. They thought they had us trapped. Now they're trapped in here with me. I continued my ruthless bashing until I made a knight shoot out a nuke that landed right at Strong's feet. The blast took out everyone, and I made my way to the main hallway to find Glory bleeding out. Oh no, anyone but her. Anyway. Oh yeah! Strong got ragdolled by another nuclear shit. Strong, please stop blowing up! I fought the last two knights at range, but when they got close, I attacked ferociously with my crowbar until he crumpled over dead. Ho ho ho! With a combination of jet and buff out, I ran circles around the last knight. They even tried to run away from me at one point. With the attack taken care of, Desdemona orders us to take out the Brotherhood once and for all. I met Tom outside the Brotherhood outpost, and I didn't waste any time in our assault, giving Reese the ass beating of a lifetime. Don't worry, I made sure to take out the garbage after I was done. Entering the station, I immediately gave someone a brain freeze and turned Halen into a pile of ash. The battle was somehow not heard by this random guy on the stairs. How the fuck did you get up there? While Tom was hotwiring the vertibird, another one showed up to try and stop us. It didn't last 10 seconds before crashing. With the bird finally ready, I hopped on board and we were off. Tom flew like a drunken man steering the stick with his asshole. Deacon gave me a bright orange condom for me to stuff my fat ass into, so we can board the big blimp undetected. We boarded in complete stealth. There's no way any of them could tell I was Santa Claus. I was tasked with setting 3 bombs and I needed to steer clear of the ranking officers. Even if you ignore them, they'll smell your bullshit and immediately attack you. If they talk to you, you better have good charisma to pass their checks. If you do, you can move on to the bombs, planting them on the blimp's fuel gauges. However, when I placed the last one, the nearby scribe is blown up, alerting everyone on the base. Trying again, I made sure the scribe wasn't anywhere near the bombs, but the base immediately started attacking Santatron for some reason. My third time through, I charmed the scribe to leave his post, but when I planted the bombs. It happened again. Santatron is immediately targeted by everyone on the base. At this point, I said fuck it and made my way back to the Vertibird, using Santatron's distraction to my advantage. We escaped, and the first thing I do is strip naked to put my Santa costume back on. And the Brotherhood must have a naked man radar or something, cause they immediately let loose with every single laser they could throw at me. However, it wasn't enough to stop the bombs from going off, destroying the Brotherhood for now. I hope Santatron is okay. We're in the end game now. I upgraded my costume one more time before speaking with Desdemona about our plan. First, I needed to take control of the teleporter. Thankfully, Z1's kinda bloodthirsty. Good thing there's no other casualties. With the teleporter ours, we get to move on to step 2. I love step 2. Why does this remind me of the Hoth base from Star Wars? Oh boy, I can't wait to escape to safety. We massacred our way through the rest of the synths, and I learned that Strong likes to aim low.
This is not okay.
I may have created a monster. After dealing with the synths, I gave Sean a taste of Christmas spirit. I shut down the security lockdown, deactivated a good chunk of the synths, and engaged the evacuation protocol. Most synths were deactivated, and those who weren't were quickly dealt with. Getting to the reactor room, I didn't want to play with the missile synth and immediately froze him through an adjacent window. I didn't stop firing until it went down, and only then did I enter the reactor room and lay waste to anything that moved. I planted the bomb on the Institute's reactor and waited my turn before I am able to leave. I grabbed my robot child and teleported away, only to get absolutely blinded by the sheer brightness of the snow. You think that's bright? Shield your eyes! With the flick of a switch, the Institute is no more, and I proved that yes, you can be followed for as Santa Claus. Now there's only one thing left to do. I slept for nearly a month straight, and when it got closer to Christmas, I waited at Diamond City so I could be closer to everyone. Damn, he got a bigger sack than me. When Christmas Eve hit, I went around giving presents to everyone. A Gatling laser for Arturo, something to help Myrna chill the fuck out. I got something special for Sully. I gave Nick a fusion core. I'm not sure what he's going to use it for, but I'm sure he can shove it places. I hope Mo plays some baseball here soon. Moving to Good Neighbor, I gave the sexy robot lady something long, hard, and that can explode. I threw a piece of armor at Daisy's face, and then gave the railroad a shit ton of new disguises. When I returned to Diamond City, the mayor was revealed to be a synth and was trying to steal Christmas. I couldn't let that happen. I stormed up to his office and with the help of Piper, took down the Christmas thief. I positioned the body to make him look natural. I gifted Piper with my used vault suit that smelled like peppermint and depression. Aside from that, I celebrated Christmas with my crew. I gave Strong the milk of human kindness. I gave my rain dog a piece, and finally made our marriage official. Oh, one last present needs to be given. Thank you all for getting this far into the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this shit show of a video. I wanted to apologize for this video coming out as late as it did. I got busy with family and work responsibilities and was unable to work on videos. I'll make sure to not leave you guys hanging like that again. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. With that being said, love you guys. See ya.